Men have checked out.
Women in their 30s come online to say, where are the men in their 30s? Where do they hang out? What do they do? I get such secondhand embarrassment. Because it's like, girl, I think, okay, so society has lied to women, unfortunately. And a lot of girls thought in their 20s, I'm just gonna, live, laugh, love. 20s are for fun, ha ha ha. And then when they turn 30, they're like, okay, I'm ready to be serious. Where are the men? The men are gone. A lot of the good men are gone, because the ones that knew that they wanted to be husbands and fathers are typically already husbands and fathers by the time that they're 30, or at least working towards that, because a lot of people don't want to be old parents or whatever. And the other half that are still left are the ones who either didn't want to be husbands and fathers in the first place, so they weren't on track to doing that, or the ones that tried to be that and then probably failed at their previous relationships. So you're looking at leftovers, babe. And you yourself have now become one of those leftovers. Sorry.
This is that's a good take, but primarily because it touches on a couple important topics. One, sometimes you need to hear from a woman, right? And I like that there's more and more content geared towards that, having women telling them, yeah, we were lied to. We thought that we had time. When we have the understanding that the biological clock sort of exists, we thought we had time to sort of do what society was saying. You can just kind of have it all. Men were taught very often, not that we were physically taught, we just saw, yeah, if you want to have it all, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of things. Therefore, you can't have it all. You can't be this awesome father of the year and then not be present at the same time. The two require one another. Very little of that is told to women. So especially when it comes down to men, especially that, you need that male component for an actually healthy family. That stuff is off the table. That stuff is never really mentioned. That stuff is not talked about. We make it seem as if men are always going to be available. We've mistaken male attraction for male availability. You can be attractive, right? When women you see plenty of examples, women in their 50s and 60s, hella hot, super attractive, but still no man by them side, because that attraction does not translate into availability. That's not the thing. Male attraction may be ubiquitous for a small percentage of women throughout their life. They're going to be attractive in some sense of the phrase, but that male desire to be with you, that's not the same thing. And before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still trying to do two a day. Share the video, hype the video, and now we have merch available. You can probably see that should be already popping up. But listen, no pressure. We just want to fully flesh out the channel so we can have more of a community. But again, like she was saying, one thing I think she missed, right? When she's talking about there's men that wanted to be, fathers, wanted to be husbands and fathers, they've already accomplished that. Then men that tried and failed the relationship and that didn't work out. There's another group, right, where I think you're going to find a lot more people in there that you really consider. There are men that just became so disenfranchised with it, who otherwise would have made great candidates. They're just looking at it and say, I've kind of lost hope. I've kind of lost hope in the process, because what we're consuming, what we're being told from our own experiences and what's being put out there, not just reinforced by social media, but also reinforced by larger media. Our interactions are becoming numbed down to simply transactions. There are men that look at that and just say, what is the point? What is the purpose? You want to have kids, right? Absolutely. That's still, for example, you want to have kids. You want to have a family, but you're looking at the potential cost of it. And I'm not just talking monetarily. If you could imagine that one day you go from a life of waking up every day and seeing your kids, going to bed and putting them to sleep, and having that fulfillment, and then have that now be taken away and regulated by the state. That is, to many men, it seems like, if this is on the table and you can't ignore the frequency of it, you can't ignore the percentage of how often it happens, that this isn't something that's a huge deterrent and say, you know what, I can't do this. I can't run the risk of this happening. This would hurt so much that it's better if I just sit back and say, no, if I'm going to exhaust myself in waiting for that unicorn, waiting for that person that I hopefully can find that has the same the proper type of character in the middle, where we can mitigate the chances of us building a life together and it's something being torn down at the end of the day. And you understand that there's some states with no fault divorce. It doesn't matter who cheated. It doesn't matter who was a bad partner. It's just that the state and the laws allow this sort of dissolution to happen on this side sort of things. When the law favors women in terms of child custody, regardless of her character, regardless of her, it's just this natural inclination. We're thinking that's going to be the best place for the child. Men are looking, and these men, again, that would be obvious. They would be looking, say like, yo, this would be a great candidate for a father. They're looking and saying, no, I'm going to step out of this. They've had the experience of being with someone and realized how difficult it can be just to have their own needs and desires met. So they say, you know what's the point? Like I said, otherwise good candidates. And I can get the argument, well, if they can't get over this, then they wouldn't be good candidates. You simply widen up that how many other men are going to fit into that category, saying, I would, but the deck is stacked against me. Looking at it, getting back to what she's saying, that very important part where society told women, you have all the time in the world. You can F off in your 20s. You can do whatever you want. You can have as much fun as you want. The world is your oyster in your 20s. Have at it. Enjoy your life. Go as wild as you want. Be as free as you want. Sleep with whomever you want. Travel. Do whatever. And then in your 30s, you want to look around and say, okay, we're the serious men. We're the potential men that I could see myself with. We act as if we're on literally two different planets, and we're not seeing the behavior. As if our entire lives we haven't seen the behavior. We've all been participant in this life, and a lot of us haven't been doing it under a rock. We see and right now, social media is a great example of the transition from party girl to serious career woman to trad housewife to back to the church. We see the progression. People can map it out. There's very famous people doing it right now, Brittany Renner being one of them. You see how it goes. So when men find you in that 30 range and you're saying, well, I've got this accelerated timeline that you need to adhere to, these men are looking at you with that side eye. Say, I can't, why? We've got to the point where I'm happily for that men have found their voice. They're comfortable saying, no, this doesn't make any sense. No, this is a bad deal. If I can't get the thing the way I want it to, I don't mind being called leftover. As long as you can accept that same moniker, we'll get along just fine. You cannot. You can do what you want, right? It's still America. You can do what you want, but you have to be ready to face the consequences of certain behaviors. When men are looking and saying, I'd rather catch you earlier before you've committed a lot of these transgressions, a lot before society has a better hand in molding and telling you all the little lies that catches up to you. I'd rather see if I can catch you there. If we can make something happen when we're in our 20s and we can ride off into sunset together, we'd rather that. By the time the 30s come around and you're saying, I need to have a baby in 2 years and this is our second date, most men are saying, yeah, I can't help you. I can help you in the baby practice making part, but that's about it. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments. If you see other videos on your screen, take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And if you made it this far, you have not subscribed, but you can listen to Sound My Voice now, I think you should. Trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.